That's weird. Huh. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Let me just try that again. Alright, that should be correct. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, Gassy, long time no chat. Yeah. That's funny because I was literally just talking to you. How you doing, Tank? How you been? Hey, Tiz, how you doing? So I'm gonna do a little bit of spooky Halloween vampire art, which is cool. Accidentally dropped all that grey in there just as I was getting started. So this is a little vampire lady I have sketched up. So I'm just gonna play the time lapse of me sketching it up. Struggling with a Final Fantasy XIV addiction. I have a crippling World of Warcraft addiction. So I know what that's like to struggle with the old MMO addiction. So that's what I've done so far, and I'm just gonna go in and ink her. Combine these layers down. Just so I can boost the opacity down, so I can just get started on some inking. Yeah, I played a bit of Final Fantasy 14 myself. Not too much, just a little bit. And it was pretty fun. I had a good time. It seems like a really good game. The only reason I haven't really played more is because I have so much in World of Warcraft. I have been playing that game for over 10 years, like, you know, almost every day, and I had the longest break I've ever had from it when all that awful news about Blizzard came out. I had a month off, which, you know, was a huge amount of time for me at that point. And once I felt like Blizzard were starting to make some real changes, I did go back in. The thing about me playing World of Warcraft is for probably the last maybe 2-3 years, I have spent a total of $40 on that game, because I earn gold and use the gold in the game to pay for everything I do. Yeah, a lot of people are done with Blizzard, and you know, I don't blame them. But you know, a lot of people aren't done with Blizzard, and like, you know, it's just like a whole thing. There's been quite a bit of good news. Not that I'm caping for Blizzard. I mean, I don't really like any game company, but they did finally acknowledge all the demands that the workers were making, ended forced arbitration, and fired a whole bunch of those people who were acting badly recently, so I mean, I guess we'll see. Played during Lich King, came back for Shadowlands, and then stopped again. Yeah, Shadowlands, yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about Shadowlands. I started in Cataclysm myself. I didn't get super into it until Warlords of Draenor though, which everyone who played before Warlords of Draenor will tell you that's the worst expansion ever, but I very much enjoyed my time there. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're not enjoying it, you're not enjoying it. I don't really do any group content. I play it like it's a single player collection game. You know, I do a lot of mount collecting and stuff like that. So mount collecting, appearance collecting, and stuff like that, pet collecting. And so for me, who's interested in stuff like that, it is a good game for me. Like, there's not much out there that really has that kind of huge, insane level of, you know, easy to fall into collection stuff. But if you're there for the story, or you're there for the raids, then, you know, I totally get it. I understand. And yeah, yeah, no, I did enjoy Final Fantasy XIV, and I do have every intention of going back and playing some more. It's just when you know, I've got to be in the right mood, honestly. I don't play many video games these days. It's a very kind of mood by mood thing for me. So I'm just inking up this slightly grumpy Halloween. Yeah, Gassy, I'm pretty sure we're on the same server because I started playing, when Percy did her last stream on Final Fantasy, which was her playing that ranger that she was going to turn into a bard, and then have a bard band, and I started playing Final Fantasy because I wanted to join that bard band because it sounded hilarious. So I'm pretty sure we're on the same world. We should, you know, I don't know, link up, hang out sometime, do some stuff. I'm still only on the starter version because I never got around to buying it. But you know, the starter version's still pretty good by the looks of it. And I've got a few other friends who play a lot of it. I don't know how to say it, Mikote? Maquiote? I don't know how to say it, but I am obviously, as you can probably tell by my cute little VR avatar, Mikote. Is that how I said it the first time? Yes, of course I am a cat girl. I love the cat girls. I'd probably also consider playing one of the bunny girls as well. In World of Warcraft, I am a night elf druid because I can turn into, I can turn into a big old cat. I can turn into a deer or a bear or stuff like that. But unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a Final Fantasy equivalent to a feral druid, which is probably the main reason why I'm not, completely head over heels into Final Fantasy, because it's, I like the druid. I like the transform and then do melee combat kind of thing, and You know, high stealth, like high maneuverability. You're just a dragon girl. Yeah, no, like the classes and stuff look really cool. Yeah, so the other main class I generally play is a beast mastery hunter on World of Warcraft, which obviously there's the ranger, but you know, is the equivalent. So you know, I'm always fine with ranged. And in fact, I have a character of every single class. I have like 50 characters. I'm at max. I'm at max of how many characters you're allowed to have in World of Warcraft. And there's only a couple that I haven't spent much time on. But yeah, no, I keep meaning to spend some time in it, do some more. But every time I do think about that, I'm like, oh yeah, I also own Elder Scrolls Online. Why don't I play that? Because I also enjoy that. And then I think, hang on a second, I also have, it's not quite an MMO, but it basically is, I also have Fallout 76, which is another game that I actually really enjoy. And there's always new content for that. Why don't I play that? Oh, now I'm too confused on what I'm going to play. I'm going to play World of Warcraft. My biggest flex in Final Fantasy XIV is being one of the best crafters in the game. That's so awesome. Like, that's so cool. Like, did you get like a, I don't know what they have, like a world first or something? That's so cool. Something I do really like about Final Fantasy is the housing. The housing is so cool. Like I spent some time, I just went up to one of the housing districts and I just wandered around and looked at the outside of all these houses that people had, and you know, just had a squiz, and it was really awesome. Like, it felt really like, hey, people actually live here kind of thing. Which is not something you have in World of Warcraft. The closest you have is your Warlords of Draenor garrison, which is not housing. It's like a pretend version of housing. But like, you know, I looked at all these different houses and they all looked really different, and like, I don't know, I had this feeling of, yeah, no, like, you know, this free company. That's what guilds are called, right? Free companies. It was a race to craft as many items as possible. Oh, that's so cool. So you just did a whole bunch of, you know, put all these hours in and sunk all that time into it. That's really cool. That's really great. So did you just no sleep it for a week? Get on some hardcore caffeine or something? So I have given this vampire lady, she's got a cloak, but it buttons on at her shoulder. So I'm just gonna try and show that she's wearing a cloak that buttons on with her shoulder. I'm trying to give her a kind of like elegant look, but not like flashy elegant, like a refined elegant look is what I'm going for. So I'm just gonna put that there so I stop zooming in and out so much. You're top 50, that's so cool. Putting in the hard yards to be one of the best crafters. Yeah, no, I don't have anything like that. I've got a couple of rare World of Warcraft mounts. I mean, not that rare. I don't have anything in like the less than 2%, but You know, I've got Invincible, which is the one that everyone always wants. Like, people still spend a lot of time farming out Lich King for that. I've got the Infinite Time Reaver, which is a really low drop rate. I just got the Headless Horseman, which is something that is only available once a year and everyone spends a lot of time farming it every year. Last year I did over 200 runs. I'm pretty sure. And I finally got it this year after, you know, not putting in very much effort, but that's okay. I want to try doing one of the hardest fights in the game that gives you a cool weapon. I like cool weapons and I like cool titles. I don't necessarily like to do hard things. I like to do grindy things. So if it's something that I have to get in a group with people to do, I probably will not do it. I feel like my days of looking for groups to do hard stuff is over. But you know, if there's collection stuff, that's what I like to do. I'm still confused about like how appearances and mounts and stuff work in World of Warcraft. I mean, not World of Warcraft, in Final Fantasy. I don't quite get it. You need really organized groups. You can't pug it. Yeah, no, I'm not a top tier raider or anything like that. I'm the type of person who enjoys looking for group. I do looking for raids is, aside from in Legion, which was several expansions ago, that was the only time I ever actually tried and, you know, did actual runs of things. Aside from that, I like the easy way for, you know, top tier content. But I've heard good things about like the Golden Sorcerer in Final Fantasy from the some of the ex World of Warcraft, like I don't know what you call them, personalities. They're like, I don't know, like minor celebrities. There's a couple of them who quite publicly quit World of Warcraft and no longer play it and play Final Fantasy, and we used to call them like Twitteroth. Like, so Azeroth, which is the world in World of Warcraft, but like on Twitter, because they talk about, like, you know, they're big public personalities who are talking about the game, but now the ones who like in the roleplay communities and stuff, now a lot of them play Final Fantasy again instead and talk about that. So I don't know what you'd call that, if there's like a name for like personalities like on Twitter who talk about Final Fantasy. Maybe that's just like a weird World of Warcraft thing. So she is holding aloft some sort of dying rose and probably some jewels. So I'm gonna might make them look like blood drops, teardrops. But yeah, I haven't played many video games for a very long time. What have I played recently? I played Red Dead Redemption 2. I've been working slowly through the storyline of that. and then a little bit of the Red Dead Redemption roleplay. Not very much. I played some Wolfenstein. I think it was maybe the New Colossus. You tried New World, but it's not for you. Yeah. I see a lot of good things about New World. I'm just not convinced I need to add another MMO to my roster of MMOs that I want to play, but it looks good. I think I'll probably try it maybe when it dies down a bit, because I'm super crowded, busy stuff is not what I like. I've been playing a little bit of Genshin Impact, which is cool. I quite like it. I know people are usually pretty anti gacha games, but I don't care. I don't care about gacha games. It's pretty cute. And then yeah, aside from that, just mobile games, World of Warcraft, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls, Final Fantasy. I feel most of the time like I'd rather just go back and play a game I know I enjoyed, rather than start a new game and be like, well, this is shit, after putting 60 hours or whatever into it. So I thought the other day that I would open up some old games, like old save games of games I hadn't played in a long time. So I opened up a Fallout New Vegas save that I hadn't touched in about probably a decade now. Actually, it's probably been a decade, and I opened it up and I was like, what the heck is going on? Like, I didn't know what was going on at all. I was in the middle of the desert, being attacked by giant scorpions, and I had a gun that was a dog's brain, but a gun, like a robot gun. So that was pretty funny. I didn't play much in that though. I did try Townscaper recently, that was cool. I actually got the mobile version of it. It's just like a little, I don't know, like a little idle, you just tap and build a town. So that was pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a look. There's something funky going on with one of our eyes. But it's not that funky. It's just a little bit funky. It's enough that I'll probably just leave it for now and fix it later. So I'm just going to boost the opacity back up because I want to take these two colors, because need to be in that layer. So I'm just going to take these two colors here that I picked and use them for like the base of my picture. And I'm going to pop this layer way at the top, and I'm going to lock it so I can just turn it off and on, but not accidentally draw on the layer, so that will be useful. So I'm going to duplicate my lines, and then I'm going to make sure the lines are as closed as possible. might struggle with this here a little bit. But yeah, I feel the same way about video games that I do about like movies. I feel like there's a whole bunch of really good ones that I missed, and before I worry too much about catching up with what's popular, I should probably go back and try some of the ones that I missed. Which I don't know, it's probably silly, but that's probably why I keep getting stuck in MMOs, is because there's just so much content, you never feel like you're finished. Yeah, I knew I was gonna have trouble with that finger. So I'm just filling in the silhouette at the moment just to make it a bit easier for me, because the next step is going to be putting down the colors. And it means that I don't have to be quite so careful. I can just color outside the lines if I need to, which is good and all, but it means I have to make sure I don't leave many massive gaps at this point, because otherwise Vampire Lady is going to be a bit harder to paint, because there's going to be big gaps that I don't see, and then I won't be able to paint where that big gap is. I'm still, I watched the Critical Role, the latest Critical Role, before, and they were doing Halloween costumes, and they all dressed up like each other, which was very hilarious, and is a great Halloween costume idea. That would be so good for like a workplace or something, unless you had a uniform. But like just dressing up like each other, that's so funny. Even funnier because they're all obviously actors and stuff. So the great thing about Procreate is you can just play with the thresholds as you're color dropping things. So like I can push it all the way up here. If I'm having an issue with the lines, if the lines are a little bit too thin, I can play around with it there. It just really helps to block things out. Also, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little bit funny. I have had a bit of a cold recently. Still feel a little bit stuffy. Sucks having like, you know, what is obviously a cold or like allergies during these times, because I'm like, I should really go get a test, but it's so hard to get a test unless like I've actually been near an exposure event. So I just, you know, stay away from people as much as I can. Oh, thank you, Tank. Now I can just feel it when I talk. I'm just like a little bit stuffy now. I'm not as bad as I have been for the rest of the week. But like, it's the time of year where I have allergies. Well, I always have allergies, but it's the time of year where I get quite bad hay fever. And so it means that... Oh, that's weird. it means that if I have like anything like just a slightly runny nose, it's like way worse than it should be. Why is that there? Just gonna get rid of it from here. Alright, so now I'm pushing the brightness back up. About there. Doesn't matter too much. As I'm about to put one of those other colours down. Oh, I need to leave this one on normal. And then this one to soft light. And then get overlock that one, clipping mask, and just combine it down so I've got them both in the same layer. And I'm gonna put this here. And then this one, clipping mask, at about 60%, I'm just going to start laying down my colours with a slightly bigger brush than that. Maybe at like 50%. That means when I colour, it's not going over the edges of where my silhouette was that I just planned out. So she's a kind of, I don't know, elfy looking little vampire lady. Very concerned about something. And then actually I imagined her wearing gloves, so I don't have to. I can paint her hands glovey. And I was thinking probably brown here. And then I'll bring in this color. It's kind of. And so you notice when I put the color, this pinky color, when I put it over the green, it actually goes grey, which is really interesting because I've got it at a 50% opacity over top of this green color, and this green color actually happens to be it's, what do you call it? It's complementary color. I was about to say it's like chromatic villain, but I mean it's complementary color, which is cool because, like, you know, if you color pick this, it's like actually grey, which I might just pop down here for that. But yeah, that's just an interesting quirk of how color theory works. In that to get to complementary colors, you do actually have to go through exactly through the middle of a color circle, and in the middle it's completely desaturated, so it goes like, you know, saturated, and it moves through to that center, and that center is pure, you know, grey, white, whatever, completely desaturated, which is why when I put down the exact opposite color, it is actually quite grey. So yeah, if I colour pick that and have a look at the values, like, that was really desaturated. But yeah, interesting quirk of how how our eyes perceive color. And like if I pick this one here, which was actually grey, it's boosted all the way back up the saturation back towards green. I'm looking at the second row down here for saturation. But yeah, it's cool. Good stuff. So I'll probably put down some extra color so that I can make a couple of these portions like actually pink. But like if I grab this, and I don't want to make it my actual background color, I want to fill it. In comparison, if you're not looking at that other pink, it actually looks incredibly pink on the actual picture. I'll just turn that off for now. I'm probably going to use it as the background, but and I want maybe this light brown here. I feel like it's quite nice to just grab a color like this green and then just lay random colors over top of it and see how they look. And see, that one looks quite different because there's actually no green underneath it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... There we go, now it looks grey. But yeah, if I take this layer and I boost it back up, she looks completely different color choices. So yeah, I'm just gonna color in at 50%, but I'm probably gonna put it up to like maybe 60, 65 and see how I feel at that. Because I want it to match the green, but I don't know if I want it to match the green in the way that it currently is. And so I reckon if I took this and I boosted the saturation all the way up to get that nice red color, and then I painted on, it's going to come out kind of reddish. Yeah, I quite like that. I can work with it actually. But yeah, it's a good way to harmonize your colors to make sure they kind of all work together. Is to use overlays and stuff like that. Alright, and eyes are I feel like it should be a bit more desaturated. Maybe a yellow. See how I feel about yellow. She's kind of a fashionable vampire, maybe like Napoleonic France. You know, she's got the ruff going. She's got the, well, probably not military, definitely military inspired outfit. But I guess if you take the cloak away, it would probably be something you'd see on Star Trek. I love Star Trek. It's such, give me something nerdy. I like Star Trek. I used to be like, oh yeah, Star Wars is what I like, but the older I get, the more I'm like, yeah, actually, Star Trek is where I think you know, that's what I enjoy. Hey Wacky, thank you for the follow. How you doing? We're just doing some spooky vampire art. Poggies, yo. How you doing? How's your roleplay been? Maybe I'll change my mind on that. Might pop some shadows and stuff on. I think I will use this, but I'm gonna just saturate it and darken it a bit. Just to make some of those greens stand out. Doing great. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Alfie was fun. Super awkward. Well, you didn't seem awkward when we dropped by the other day. You were like singing and stuff, and the bank. That was cool. And I'm just gonna put a cheeky, maybe a little vignette or something. Oh, yeah, I bet. That is like, honestly, that's like one of my worst fears, that someone's gonna like pop in with a whole bunch of people and I'm just gonna like not know what to do with myself. Like, you did so well getting that many people like come in. Like, you know, I've seen people cry. I've seen people, well, I say people, I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about, but I've seen people cry and stuff when people raid them and give them a fright. So yeah, you kept your head real well. Cause like, you know, you were just chilling. You were just chilling with your buddies, and then just all of a sudden, all of these people. So I'm gonna make a vignette around the corners. Get your OBS covered by the lyrics and all you could hear. Oh, okay, I bet that was a bit scary actually. just just so many notifications, and you're just like, what the heck is going on? Gotta keep singing. But no, you did really well. That was great. It was a good raid. And I got to, follow you on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, so I'm just gonna put a Gaussian blur on. I kinda like it how it was. No, I'll Gaussian blur it to here. And then I'll just put a bit darker. It's a problem with using nice textured brushes like this, is that I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, oh my god, that looks so great, but there's just too much texture in it, and I need to change it. So I keep making the mistake of painting my whole picture before I worry about the background, and then struggling with my background, so I'm at least going to put something in behind it this time. And okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in some purple, maybe like this purple. Yeah, that purple's fine. We came at the right time too. Oh, that was your first interaction of the night. It was such a good interaction as well. So I've just dropped some purple in here, and I'm going to put it on multiply at about maybe 25. We'll go 25, and then I'm just going to rub. This is how I get the first stage of my shadows. I'm just gonna. It's gonna be kind of messy, just by the way. That's okay. All my art is kind of messy. I just kind of do what I feel like doing. Oh, so you've been having one of those days. Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. I'm just a hobby artist. I just do it occasionally because I enjoy it. It's nice to be able to share it though. But you're just having one of those days where you couldn't find anything to do, and then you just rock up to the bank, get one of those guys was definitely propositioning you, right? Like I feel like that was like some bits of it like were almost ERP situation. And then all of a sudden here comes a big old raid, and you're in the middle of singing. That's so good. And your chat regulars were just like, oh my god, freaking out. Emergency mod one of them. It was a good time. It's a great time. So I'm just, erasing out. I'm not going to worry about being too particular right now, because I'm going to stick another Gaussian blur over it. Just trying to give it some shape and stuff. Oh, okay, so here's my layer setup. That one I don't need. So top layer is those two colors that I picked. In this group here is my line art, which is on soft light. This is the layer that I'm currently working on, which is a multiply layer at 25% that I've filled with purple. And then underneath is that full color layer that I've put down to 50%. Then there's the green that is 50% showing through, and then there's the silhouette. So I've just got them all on clipping masks, so I don't have to worry about whether I'm coloring in the lines or not. So yeah, just straight below my line up here, above my colors. I'll just leave that open for a second if it helps. But yes, I'm just going through and just so if I unclipping mask this and then just popped it on normal all the way up, that's what it would look like. So I'll just re-clip, and it is 25%. And re-clip this one. Doesn't matter too much if my line art's clipped or not. I just like to leave it clipped just in case I decide I really want to erase something lower down. So I'll just show you what happens. So if I leave it unclipped, no, I'll show you clipped. And I go here and I say, I hate this hand, I'm going to get rid of this hand, and then I start erasing. That's going to take my line out with it. But I'll just show you unclipped. And so this is the line out unclipped. If I start erasing, say I hate this hand, it's not going to erase my line anymore. It's just going to erase the stuff underneath. So that's why I keep it clipped, just in case I really want to change the stuff. What's the lore behind this lovely vampire lady? Well, she doesn't. I'm just kind of thinking up as I go along. She's I don't know if she's enchanted this dead rose, or if the dead rose maybe has a spirit or something that she's encountered, but she's obviously quite worried about the dead rose. But this is the first time I've drawn her, and I'm just kind of going along. I quite like it though. I need to think up a name for her. You know, I feel like she's quite cool. She deserves a name. I feel like she's probably like royalty, or maybe like, you know, she's been friends with royalty. She's been around a long time. Which makes the fact that she's Bruce. No, I'm not calling the vampire lady Bruce Hados. I'm sorry. For anyone who doesn't know, Hados is my partner. We live in the same house. We have a child together and stuff like that. But still, he comes in insisting I should call my I should call my vampire ladies Bruce. What do you mean, unfortunately? No, probably something a bit more dignified than Bruce. Look, you've upset Waki. If the cat is bothering you, ask her kindly to leave. Alright, so at this point, because I've left a few gaps and stuff, I can put a slight Gaussian blur on this layer as well. Which gives it a kind of... Let's do that again. Maybe here. Gives it a slight illuminated look. I see comics with this kind of look often. Like some of the Cape comics do this. Really soft shading. I'm gonna put it on at about 3%, I think. And then just erase a little bit more. I love this brush. This is one of the brushes I made myself. Because the good thing about Procreate is you can just make, you know, you can just sit there and experiment and make your own brushes. And I made this one because it's really good for just coloring, you know. There's nothing like super special about it. Like I even just left it on the basic shape, but like I don't know, I haven't really found anything else like it. Like it's just really nice. Alright, so that's some base soft shadows, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop another layer in, and I'm probably going to make this one a bit more blue. Make it dark. No, I'm not going to fill it this time. I'm going to put it on multiply, and I'm going to use a soft brush, and I'm going to make some harsher shadows. Let's see if I like this. Slightly bigger soft brush. Actually, I might even use my solid brush here. You wish I could art? I get a lot of people saying that they wish I could art, but like honestly, it's like 2% talent, 90% grinding. Like there's so much grinding. Like I do probably like every day, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. That's, you know, that's not even me like trying to do stuff. That's just sitting down, doodling for fun and stuff like that. I'm just gonna push this. And so like, you know, I've been doing digital art for, what year is it? 2021? Since probably 2007 might be the first year that I did digital art. I was definitely still in high school. And before then, like I was, you know, I was still painting and drawing and stuff. Like I've just kind of always been doing this. Go away, Siri. Yeah, okay, bye. And so like I'm convinced that like pretty much the only difference between like, you know, maybe most artistic people and, you know, less artistic people is literally that like for some of us we just kind of have to do it. Like it's just what we do. But yeah, most of it is just grinding, learning and stuff. Like I read a few art books and like I do studies of old paintings and stuff like that. And like I'm not even a professional artist. I'm literally just a hobbyist. But mostly because I didn't want to be a professional artist. I did go to art school. I actually went to animation school. But once I realized that none of the people who were leaving that particular school were getting jobs, I dropped out. But you know, I just enjoy doing art. I like to teach people how to make art. Yeah, I like to do things. I like to, you know, I like to come up with ways to do things and then show other people how to do them, basically. But yeah, like I mean, it's actually, you know, if you're ever going to learn to draw, like, now's a really good time to learn how to draw. There's so many, like, resources and stuff, like, you know, I've collected so much stuff, like, resources and things, so, like, you know, if you ever are, like, seriously interested in trying to learn to do this kind of stuff, shoot me a DM or something, and I'll share some of the resources and stuff that I've accumulated. Because, like, I follow, like, a lot of people on Twitter, like, professional artists who, like, you know, have tutorials and things like that. I have got the right amount of fingers here, haven't I? So yeah, I'm just doing deep shadows at the moment. I'm just being kind of casual about it. I noticed I have changed back to the green without really noticing it, but that's okay. I should probably color in her ear. And then I'm just going to make this hair a bit darker. Awesome, Tank. Yeah, that's one of the things I do, like, I do just, like, collect things like that, and I've got so many, like, just handy stuff. Every once in a while I do an art class stream and my chat bullies me while I do art. I just hate colouring with a passion. Yeah, I kind of hate colouring too. That's why I find ways that I enjoy doing it. Like, you know, that's just how I do. I'm just like, I hate the thing. Okay, let me find a way that I enjoy the thing, or can at least tolerate the thing. So now I'm gonna do a slight highlights layer. So I'm doing this on a soft light layer. And this color that I'm picking to do the highlights, I could just create a channel in the Discord to post these resources. Yeah, I could. Hados has kindly made us a combined Discord to do this. I could very much. So the reason I pick yellow, or a very light yellow, to do these highlights is that's just, you know, that's just how light kind of works. Like, primary light anyway is generally from the sun, and the sun is yellow, so a lot of cast light, especially on highlights and stuff, is yellow. I mean, obviously in this case she's not in the sun because she's a vampire, but you know, there's an unspecified light source in this particular drawing, so I'm just gonna go with yellow since it's kind of what your eye expects. But it could be any colour, you know, I could use a green, or I could use a red, or anything. So I'm probably going to Gaussian blue this one as well, because it doesn't need to be so particular. But yeah, I am really bad at guessing what colours go together, which is why I used that trick with the with putting the green down in the background and then colouring just random colours over at 50%. I have the opposite of colorblind. I can actually see more colours than a lot of people, but the extra colours that I can see, they're reds, and they're not very nice reds. So it's like, I think I said last week in stream, It's like being able to smell more things than everyone else, but all the extra smells that you can smell are garbage. Or, you know, taste. But all the extra tastes are poops. So I'm just working on that Gaussian blur. I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to come back in here and do a little bit more on the face. Because the light diffuses differently on skin than it does on fabric. Okay, if you're, if you are quite concerned with colour, there's a few really good books that I've read recently as well. James Gurney, the guy who did Dinotopia, he's got a really good book series called he's got a really good book called Colour and Light. That's a really good one to get your hands on if you're interested in how colour and stuff works. Because it's just a lot easier to colour when you know how colour and light actually does work as well. So I'm just going to blend this manually myself by hand. Oh, wrong colour. And I should probably put some on the eyes because I've made them really blue. That's meant to be a very light yellow. And that's about where I had it. And then just a little bit of the flowers. So James Gurney, he's the guy who created Dinotopia, which I don't know if you remember. It might have been maybe before your time, but it was quite a good TV series on it when I was a kid. I was a big fan. And I just realized I didn't paint those rubies. It's okay, they look fine green actually. I might just give them some. But he's actually probably one of the most talented painters, probably ever. Took one during class in college, and it was all about how to sketch and proportion things properly. Nothing at all about color. Yeah, that's a lot of what my my art school stuff was like, because I guess they just want you to get the basics down. Like, what do they say? Lines the most important thing, and then form, and then it goes back from there. Like there's a hierarchy of what's actually important in art that I got taught when I was in art school. I don't remember learning much beyond the really basics about color, which kind of sucks because color is so important, but like, I guess a lot of people do like not even work in color, and that is actually what I'm about to do. So I'm pretty happy with this. My only issue is some of these lines are quite dark, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm duplicating the layer and I'm flattening it down so that, she's all on one layer. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. So this is something kind of special that I do. I don't know how many other people do this, but I taught myself to do this because I'm not very good with colour. So I'm just checking here that the colours are matching. So two of the exact same layers. The top one in colour blending mode, and then the bottom one I put in black and white. And I do that so that I don't muddy my colours up, because I find it really easy for me to get confused between my colours and stuff like that. So I do this so that I can just paint the form. I've got my colours basically sorted. I'll get back to them a little bit at the end, but means I can come in here and start like getting my textures down, because it's a lot easier just to work in black and white than it is in full colour. So I can just, you know, sit here for a while and blend to my heart's content. Oh. Apparently I accidentally kept colour picking. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave that colour in the background for now. Just so I remember what I'm doing. And I'm gonna take a super soft brush for painting some stuff in now. But yeah, I don't remember doing too much to do with colour in art school, honestly. I think it's kind of one of those things where they're just like, either you know it or you don't know it. Because, you know, it's probably one of the more subjective ends of like, you know, design and illustration and stuff like that. So I'm just plugging in my iPad. Had a whole bunch of issues at the start of stream with my iPad capture, so I didn't even think about plugging it in until it just told me it was basically out of battery. So and so the great thing about separating out my color and my form is that I can, you know, make some changes, do some painting, and then just reapply the color, because it's on that separate layer. And later on, once I'm happy with how this is looking, I'll merge them back together and then paint over the top of them a little bit. This is, you know, this is a really fun and helpful way to do it. It cuts down on a lot of, you know, oh, oops, I mixed these two colors together when I shouldn't have, kind of thing. But you know, I learnt some weird things in art school, and like literally not many of them are the things that I use now. Some of the animation stuff definitely, because I got taught by one of my tutors was actually one of the lead animators for Dave the Barbarian, if you remember that show. And he taught us to do like traditional 2D animation, like pencil, paper, the old school light boards with the special holes in the paper, and then I think he had like a old school camera capture to like device things set up. to get the animations down. That was the most useful stuff. Yeah, OG light boards. Yeah, the ones that you know, slanted up on a desk and you had to put a little lamp behind them. And then, yeah, the special paper with the holes on them that would, like, connect to it. I'll see if I can just quickly show a picture on stream of what they look like. Window capture. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that we used to animate on. These kind of boards. So fantastically old school. Oh no, now I've lost my iPad. Oh well. Get it back going. But yeah, no, it was really cool. So yeah, no, we used to do like the old bouncing ball, like 50 pictures of it bouncing, like, you know, a ball bouncing around, squash and stretch and stuff like that. It was really cool. But of course they don't animate like that anymore. You know, they don't, even the 2D animations, they're pretty much all done on, like, well, not like Flash, I think it's like Toon Boom now, but you've only taken 3D animation course and you want to take more. Yeah, we did some 3D animation as well. I quite like 3D animation. I've been practicing on Blender. Actually, I'll show you. I have the newest version of Procreate. Well, I don't know why it's come out like that. And you can actually, two fingers, you can actually come in here and paint on these 3D models. Yeah, secret Procreate beta. So yeah, you can import any, like, object and paint on it. Yep. And I took this and then I used it to took the 3D painting and I just painted. I took a screenshot, painted over it. Just do it a bit faster because it was quite long. And then I took that and I started working on doing a little animation, like just hand-drawn animation over 3D, hand-drawn animation over a painting, which is over top of a 3D model that I painted some of the skins for. So yeah, that's exciting. That's some of the stuff coming in Procreate. That's why you should sign up to their betas. So you can't model in Procreate yet. you can't do 3D modeling, but I have a feeling it's probably not going to be very far away by the looks of it. And so you could like create something in Blender, and as long as you download it as an OBJ, or there's a couple of other file types you can import, like you can paint on anything. Like I've seen people painting, like, you know, on TikTok and stuff, who've also got the beta, like painting on cans, like, you know, 3D models of cans. So it means that you can like you know, you can do your mock-ups right in Procreate now, which is super cool. Like I feel like that's more than Photoshop has. But yeah, that's one of the things I've been messing around with, and I don't know if I'm allowed to show the beta, but I'm pretty sure the most recent update, which I haven't actually updated, is gonna overwrite my current version of Procreate, so I figure it's probably okay. Yeah, it might be, but like you can like I have a Bluetooth keyboard attached to my iPad. Yeah, I feel like modeling itself would probably be quite hard, but like I feel like sculpting would probably be fine. Like which would be fun to, you know, I tried a couple of like 3D sculpting things. It's always fun with a stylus. So I reckon if you know, you have an iPad, Apple Pencil, and probably a Bluetooth keyboard, you'd probably be fine. But yeah, the painting on 3D models, super cool. Yeah, like I went on oh my goodness, I can't even remember what it's called. The place where people put all their 3D files on, and you can buy some. Some of them you can buy, and then some of them are free. So I just went in there and downloaded a low poly OBJ file of a person, and that's what I was painting on. It was like a open source one. But yeah, you could literally go on there and like grab just about anything, and then you know, paint on it. And it's got a few cool things, like you can change how the light looks. I think you can change materials, like, you know, how materials look, like how they interact with light. Like there's a few special materials for painting on 3D models and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's exciting. I mostly signed up for the beta because I was a little bit worried that my iPad wasn't going to run it, because I have an iPad mini, which is, you know, I enjoy it. It's a great size for me. I know a lot of people like really like the iPad Pros and stuff, but like I take my iPad with me like everywhere, and it's like A5 maybe. It means it's nice and easy to carry. It's like sketchbook size. Like all the sketchbooks I use are about the same size. The iPad minis nowadays are quite powerful. Like they're at least as powerful as an iPad Air, which is like the intermediary step between a regular iPad and an iPad Pro. So they've got the same software, like, I mean, not software, they've got the same insides as an iPad Air, just a smaller, and obviously, you know, cheaper thing. Like, I think I paid the same for my iPad mini, or about the same for my iPad mini than I would have for a regular iPad, but I got, you know, much better specs. Um, and I think now the iPad mini is like the latest one. This one's about 2 years old maybe. I think the latest ones are even more powerful. Like starting to get up there with pros. So at the moment I'm mostly trying to get rid of stuff that's just too dark or too light. Just trying to even it out a bit. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I think you know, I think Procreate are making some really good strides in, you know, the kind of digital art scene. And I mean, like, they're not the first people to like integrate 3D modeling into a workflow. Like if you get Clip Studio, that's all included. You can use 3D, like, you know, 3D models. You can use them as references, like inbuilt into Clip Studio. But I don't think you can paint on them, like, you know, in that same way. I think you can just paint over top of them, in the way that I did in my second file. But yeah, no, it's gonna be cool when that's all released and stuff. It's so great how involved they get their community as well. Like it was, you know, it wasn't hard for me to get the beta. I don't think you can apply for it now. I think it's probably too late. It is in fact your bedtime. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming along. It was really nice to see you. I'm probably not going to stream for much longer because it is almost my bedtime. As a New Zealander, I generally go to bed about 10 PM, and it is in fact 10:15. I don't stay up very late because I have a small child and she likes to be up early, so you know, it's best for me to also be up early. So when I stream, I just stream when she's in bed, a couple of nights a week sometimes, but never very late. But yeah, I'll see you around. Yeah, I'll send you some book recommendations and things like that, and hopefully I'll catch you some other time on your stream or my stream or probably Percy's stream. But yeah, thank you for coming along. It's been nice having you here. Okay, what am I doing here? Alright, I'm not gonna go too hard on her teeth right now because I feel like teeth are kind of like a last thing, and I'm fine with them as they are now, right now. Because like the thing about teeth is it's so easy to mess up teeth and make things look like super creepy. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of some of this dark in here. It's just a bit too dark. This is why I put my, when I'm doing my lineup, this is why I put it into soft light. Is because it means that I can choose which bits are, you know, super dark. But the problem with that, combined with combined with the way that I put the colours down this time, meant that the particular colour combination that I picked for the hair, for some reason, the values of that one, when it was overlaid with the soft light layer, meant that it went crazy dark on the lines, but that's okay. I just gotta know which bits to lighten up. I don't need to have quite these many lines in here. Oh. Now that Waki said he's going to bed, like, I realized how late it actually is for me. Must have been super late for him. Cause, you know, at the very least he's 4 hours, one day behind and 4 hours ahead. Which is like 2 AM. She kind of looks like a disgusted cat right now, and I kind of really like it. I kind of really like the disgusted cat look. Like, ugh, how dare you? I'm just gonna paint over some of these dark lines with this slightly lighter. It's 4 AM, but you're on vampire hours. Oh man, how do you do it? I cannot do it. I have a very strict bedtime. Well, I say very strict. I'm already up past my bedtime, but like, you know, if I don't get to bed probably within the next hour, I'm gonna be ruined. Though I wasn't like that. Actually, I wasn't like that until I had a child and then started taking Ritalin for my ADHD. I actually used to be quite the night owl, but now I am a grandmother, basically. You know, gotta get to bed. And I keep finding myself waking up like crazy early in the morning, like 6 AM. Like I've been recently, I keep catching myself trying to get up at 6 AM and I've been forcing myself to stay in bed till at least, 7. Alright. Like I kind of miss being able to be a night owl, but like, it has its trade-offs. So at the moment, I am just blending with a stucco pen, which I absolutely adore, and it's one of the base pens, that actually comes in Procreate. I'm pretty sure it is under the painting. Yep, here it is. But I find it's really nice to blend with. Like, I usually swap between stucco and gouache, and I also use the soft hair one, which I don't know where I got that from. I download a lot of like free brush packs from Procreate, and I also make a lot myself. But I try and sign the ones that I make. So yeah, stucco brush is so good. Like, I like to paint down with it, like if I'm looking to get something really textured, but I mostly just use it for the blending brush. You know, just alternating between stucco and gouache. Get some really nice textures. And I like the way that it kind of, you know, diffuses two colors together. Like, you know, if I was blending this way with a different, you know, with a more traditional brush, like a flat round or something like that, it would leave a lot more lines, and it would, you know, it would push the colors in different ways. So I really enjoy this. I've always been a night owl, except whenever I had day jobs. Well, I've pretty much always had day jobs. Like, there's never been a point in my life where, like, even when I was in high school, I still had day jobs most of the time. I haven't really had a point in my life especially since finishing school, where I didn't have a day job. Like, I've never worked night shift or anything like that. And like, yeah, even when I was at art school and stuff, I'm pretty sure I definitely still had a casual part-time job, but it was mostly a day job. Actually, no, sometimes I would work till 2 AM because it was doing like wedding catering. But then I had to be, yeah, up for art school. Swapping over to gouache to get rid of some of the. Yeah, I like how it randomizes, but then I have to go through and like get rid of some of the more extreme randomization. Such a good brush. Can't believe it's part of the just the base ones. Cause yeah, I've got some cool brushes. What have I got? Yeah, I have some of the Ross Straws brushes. Not like super sold on them. Though as far as fancy brush makers go, I would say I like what's his name? Max Yolnicki maybe? Who does the Max packs, but like when you translate how much his brushes are to how much they are in New Zealand dollars, they are super expensive, so I haven't really bought many. Though he included this one here, this oil heavy round, I'm pretty sure is one of his. Yes, a Max Pack one. That was included in like a free set he did. And I use that one a lot. It was included in this All-Star brush set, which I use a lot of these quite often. Like this is the greatest sketch brush by Stefan Kuntz, and I use that pretty much every single sketch I make. I use that one, and then probably one of these Petra's pencils by Petra Berger. But yeah, there's some really good ones. Like this last line, Breaking Tune. But yeah, it was like an all-star like Procreate brush makers pack that they did for free. I don't know if it's still available or not, but if it is, highly recommend. So yeah, I use this Max Ulnicki, this Max Pack oil brush, and he's got some really nice like retro brushes, gouache brushes. I'm pretty sure I have his Essential Max Pack as well, which is really nice. But he made this one before the big Procreate update, so some of them don't work quite how he intended them to, I think, but they're so nice. I just like how his brushes have like a kind of buttery feel to them, and if I could afford to buy the rest of them, I probably would, because they're very nice. And like, look at how nice this is for here, even just for the blending. You know, you can put it with a lot more extremes with this brush. Shoot me the name of those in the DM. Yep, I will. I haven't opened my Discord just because, you know, I'm painting, but I will send you the brush names and stuff. Alright, her hair's okay now. Alright. So I try and work in like an order of like what do you look at, like where do you want the eye to be drawn, like where are you looking, and so I always try and start with the eyes and the face. Got rid of the most egregious problems with her hair, and then the next place would probably be her hand. So she's meant to be wearing gloves. I don't know why I drew in the fingernails. Oh well. I'm gonna move back to the sticker, just because the edges of an object are usually the darkest, just because of how light works. But like, I don't want them lined. I don't really want the line art necessarily showing through, especially because I did it so messily. So I just need to So I kind of want to show that she is wearing, I mean, she does have long nails, but she's wearing gloves. So I might undefine some of these edges of the nails as well. It's not like great, but like it's a start. It's a lot of how I paint. It's not great, but it's a start. Otherwise it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's not perfect. Like the instant I first try it, I might as well give up forever. And that's like, I mean, I know it's such a tempting way to think, such an easy way to think, but like when you're doing art, like it's not going to serve you to think like that. You just gotta kind of just do the thing and then work on it later if you really want to. Because, you know, I mean, doing the thing in the first place is a kind of way of working on it, but like a lot of doing art is just, you heard your catchphrase, what am I giving up on now? Oh, I was just talking about how, you know, if you're not perfect at the first attempt, you know, you shouldn't just give up, because that's not going to serve you when you're doing art. You should just keep trying, even if it's not perfect, because it's not going to be. It's probably, you know, because art is so subjective instead of objective. Like, I'm sure even the greatest artists, you know, in the world think they're trash now and then. And like, you know, the inverse of that is also possible. Like, you know, you could be like, oh hell yeah, I'm an excellent artist, and you know, you're not, but like, you know, you gotta keep pushing through. You gotta keep working on it. You gotta have like a balance between like, I need to work on this, or like, you know, oh, this is terrible, I need to work on this, and this is great, I need to keep going, like, kind of thing. Because, you know, you train your eye, you train your hand. It's like getting good at sport, like getting good at running or something. You gotta build up the muscles. You gotta build up your eye muscles. You gotta build up your hand muscles. You gotta learn how to look at things, and you gotta learn how to translate how you're looking at things down onto, I was about to say paper, but I'm working on an iPad, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just, you know, down the grind, not giving up, learning to enjoy it, I find is key. Because I figure I'm probably going to be, you know, I'm going to be doing art whether I'm having fun or not. And it's a lot easier on my brain if I have fun while I'm doing it. I love seeing people having fun with their art, like, Percy doing her art streams while she's role playing. Like, that is so cool. Like, that is one of the coolest things I've seen. It's such a good way to do it. You gotta find ways to have fun with it. Because if you're worried about being the best or whatever, you're not gonna have a good time. Alright. So, this is probably where I'm gonna stop it. I might just close this and run through the time-lapse replay to, kind of show how we got here. So I did all this sketching before stream because I don't quite trust myself to sketch on stream enough yet. So this is from when I started streaming. Just putting the inks down. I'm really rough with my inks because of the way that I paint. Quite experimental. Silhouetting it out. And then base color green down, and then painting the 50% layer over top. Getting those colors down. Put that background on. Erasing shadow layer with purple, and then darker shadow layer with the multiply, painting in some highlights in yellow, and then moving on to the values. She really does look like a unhappy cat, and I kind of really like it. So yeah, that's how much spooky art we got done. And it's 40 minutes past my bedtime, so I should probably go to bed. But I'm going to might do a little read. Let's see who's on. Might pass you on to Dome actually. He's playing some Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know if anyone here knows Dome, but he played Buford on Wild RP, and he's a really nice guy. So I think I'm gonna put you over to him, or Hados. Should I raid Gaming Reborn? Might raid Reborn. He's really nice. He's one of Hados's friends. Do you think Reborn would mind? Okay, so now's a good time to raid him then. Alright, so looks like he's playing some shooty games, so hopefully it's not too much for Whiplash. But thank you all for coming, and go and give Reborn a follow if you don't already follow him. And yeah, have a lovely night.